Not everybody in this ice storm warning is going to see the same impacts. The impacts down in Henry County, even though they're going to have some, it'll be lower than what we expect here in northeast Georgia, up 85 and 985. That corridor there is where we're going to see a lot more of that icing. And it's in northeast Georgia where we're going to see some significant accumulations. Elsewhere, some accumulations. We're going to be dealing with travel issues. We're also going to be dealing with some power outages too. So in northeast Georgia, that's where we're going to see the thickest ice amounts and the heaviest ice on trees and on power lines, and that's going to cause a lot of power outages there. Really, from Gwinnett County northward, that's where we see a ½ inch or more of ice. We can see spots with 3/4 of an inch or maybe even up to an inch of ice. So that'll be significant for those areas north and east of the city. Then when you get into northwest Georgia, let's say I-75 there and surrounding counties, through much of metro Atlanta and out I-20 on the east side, that's where we're going to still have some impacts. We're talking 1/4 of an inch to a ½ inch of ice. So that's still significant, but just not as much as what they're going to have in northeast Georgia. And then lower amounts, about glazing to about 1/4 of an inch down on the south side. So that'll be just a little more minor impacts there, but moderate for Atlanta. And then those major impacts, that's what we'll be experiencing there in northeast Georgia. So be prepared to hunker down. For metro Atlanta, I want you to be where you're going to be on Saturday before sunset, because things are going to start deteriorating after sunset. For northeast Georgia, I want you to be where you're going to hunker down once we get to probably mid-afternoon here. So we'll talk more about that in just a minute as well. Now, let's talk about the different type of precip types. So we're talking about winter weather. We talk about rain, we talk about freezing rain, we talk about sleet and snow. Now, this is how that all sets up. You have, with rain, that often starts as ice crystals up in the clouds, all right? They become raindrops, and if it stays warm all the way down, it's rain all the way down. Same thing for freezing rain. But what's different with this is freezing rain happens, it's going to be liquid in the air, all right? It's going to be like a raindrop in the air. You'll go out and say, hey, I thought they said it was supposed to be freezing rain. It's regular rain. Well, freezing rain is liquid in the air, but it doesn't freeze until it hits the ground, where the ground or an elevated surface is at or below freezing. And that's the situation we have here. It's going to be liquid in the air, but then the ground is freezing, so that's when it becomes ice. What's different with sleet is that it's a raindrop. It falls through a cold layer of air higher up, so before it makes it to the ground, that raindrop changes into an ice pellet or sleet, and it falls to the ground. And what happens with sleet is you can see it actually bounce on your windshield or on your hood or on the grill cover or on your patio furniture outside. It'll be little ice pellets that bounce. Freezing rain doesn't bounce. It just splats on the ground just like a raindrop. But when it hits that ground, that's when it freezes. And then snow is when you have the ice crystals up in the clouds. It comes down through the entire column of air that is at or below freezing. So that's snow all the way down. So we're not going to have sleet. We're not going to have snow. This is going to be a freezing rain event, which means ice, which means very dangerous conditions. So that's going to cause slick spots on the road. It is going to be very slick with that black ice. It may not even be visible out there too. Now, let's talk about where we're going to see those dangerous conditions happening first. We always talk about bridges and overpasses. So even though the air temperature might be 32 degrees, the ground or the roads will hold on to some ground warmth for a while. But on a bridge and overpass, the cold air goes under the bridge and over the bridge, so there's no heating of the ground there on a bridge or overpass. So that's why they are going to freeze up first. Many roads lose heat evenly, but the ground there under the road helps hold on to that heat for a little bit longer. So it's going to take a little bit longer, even with temperatures at 32, for the roads to ice over. But we think that is going to be happening there. So here's what happens with the differences in the ice accumulation and the impacts in association with it. When we're talking about ice at 1/10 of an inch, that's glazing, where you would see a light glaze on roads and sidewalks slick bridges, coated windshields, and isolated power outages. When we get to ice amounts around 1/4 of an inch, that's when it starts getting thicker on the trees and power lines. You'll have icy roads. The trees start to get weighed down a little bit by that ice, and there will be numerous power outages then, and that's what we expect here in Metro Atlanta. But north and east, we're talking about 1/2 inch or higher thicknesses of ice. That is dangerous to impossible travel, widespread tree damage, and widespread and long-term power outages, because there'll be so many of them. It's going to take a long time for the crews to get out and repair them all. So that's why those power outages are going to last a lot longer. Now, the models have been showing consistently over the past 24 hours of what we're kind of showing you here, where the bigger impacts are going to be up the 85 corridor and 985 corridor, and the ice pretty much coming down to near I-20 over to Metro Atlanta along 75 here. That's the GFS model. The European model is bringing it a little bit more to the west of 75 on the west side, a little bit south of Atlanta, and a little bit south of I-20, but still those highest impacts up in parts of northeast Georgia, where that wedge is going to be strongest, the cold air in place, and it's going to be there longer in northeast Georgia than it will be for Metro Atlanta and areas down to the south. So for the timeline, in north and northeast Georgia, I want you to be hunkered down by about 3 in the afternoon, let's say mid-afternoon, because that's when things are going to start changing for you in north and northeast Georgia, and the roads are going to start getting a little slicker. But for the rest of us here in Metro Atlanta, I want you to be hunkered down by sunset, which is around 6 o'clock. Through the evening hours, that's when our conditions are going to worsen, with the rain coming in, clashing with that colder air coming in from the north and east. Temperatures will be at or below freezing, and we're going to see the ice accumulating here through the evening hours, and overnight the roads are going to be slick and icy during those nighttime hours. Sunday morning, still very slick. The winter weather will be continuing. Power outage threat will be growing there because those trees are going to get heavier and heavier from that ice. Then we get into, let's say, lunchtime and into the afternoon. We're seeing that the temperatures may rise up above freezing, maybe to around 38, 39 degrees in the afternoon on Sunday as more rain comes in, and that would slow the thickening of the ice if those temperatures get above freezing for a bit with more of that rain coming in. So that may kind of slow it down a little bit. Now, I think in northeast Georgia, we may not get above freezing, so that's just going to add more and more to those trees and power lines there in northeast Georgia. So we're watching those temperatures very closely into Sunday to see if we get those temperatures, maybe for more than a few hours, that'll be above freezing. But the problem is the precip ends later on Sunday. So there'll be no additional rain or freezing rain later on Sunday. We're going to dry out, but it's going to get really cold again Monday morning. So whatever wet or frozen stuff is left Sunday night, it is going to freeze up on Monday morning. So that's why we're extending our 11 Alive weather impact alert to Monday morning, because it's still going to be slick. We may even have to extend this into Tuesday, because we're going to be down to 15 degrees Tuesday morning. There's not going to be a lot of melting happening here on Monday. So it just depends on what is left. So we'll determine that when we get a little better handle on that. Plan for travel and power impacts. We know we're going to be seeing some of that. So just don't be planning on traveling, as I mentioned, here in Metro Atlanta after sunset on Saturday, and definitely not on Sunday morning too. And then it's going to be tentative for the rest of the day on Sunday. Even if we get up to above freezing for a while, it's still going to be slick in spots. Prepare for outages. The wind is going to start kicking up on Sunday into Monday, and any of those heavy tree limbs are going to be blowing around, and they'll be breaking, and they'll be falling on power lines. Prepare for closures. We already have a lot of closures on Sunday, as well as into Monday morning too. Now right now, we're above freezing, not too bad out there, 46 degrees. We do have 39 in Canton, just above freezing in Blairsville. We don't have any moisture coming in tonight, so no concerns about any winter weather out there for tonight. But then watch, the warmest part of the day on Saturday is going to be in the 40s in the morning, and then through the day on Saturday, look what happens. Temperatures gradually falling as that northeast flow comes in here by 6 o'clock. We're at 35 degrees, still above freezing, but then once that sun sets, we go below freezing. So here's the forecast track. 41 in the morning, that's going to be the warmest part of the day. Then let's go to lunchtime, where it's 39 degrees. Still no rain coming in yet, but North Georgia starting to get in on that. Then mid-afternoon, more of North Georgia and Northeast Georgia start getting into those temperatures that'll be around freezing. That's why I want you to be in the place where you're going to hunker down by mid-afternoon or even early afternoon. And don't be getting out because it's going to start turning slick. But Atlanta's still going to be 36 with no rain yet. But we've got the rain coming in from the west. All right, that's going to move in this way. Well, at the same time, watch the freezing line, this coming down. See how it comes down here through the evening hours on Saturday with temperatures at 31 at 9, 29 in Duluth and in Athens, with that rain moving in from the south and west over that. That's going to be the freezing rain. That's going to be the icing taking place. I think people are looking at their apps and thinking it's not going to get below freezing, and they don't understand how we could have freezing rain without it being below freezing. But the app doesn't show everything. I'm telling you, we'll be below freezing most likely around 8 o'clock Saturday night in Atlanta, and then stay below freezing till around late morning or lunchtime on Sunday. And that's going to be the time frame when that rain is falling into those freezing temperatures. 29 at midnight on Sunday, more freezing rain. 3 o'clock, it's going to be 28, more freezing rain. 7 o'clock in the morning, trying to break up a little bit here, but still below freezing at 30 degrees. So overnight while we're sleeping, the ice is going to be building up on the trees, power lines, and even on the roads too, and on the ground. And on those elevated surfaces, if you try to go outside in the morning to let the dog out on Sunday morning, it's going to be slick for you. So be careful with that. Now, this is the part we have to watch. 9 o'clock, still below freezing at 30 degrees. Then by lunchtime, we're at 33, above freezing. Now, that doesn't mean everything is going to melt immediately, but this is the beginning of the slight warming here. 34 in Peachtree City, 43 in LaGrange. So this warmer air is trying to move up as this next band of rain moves in, and that may scour out that wedge, and we'll be up to around 36, 37, 38 degrees here in Atlanta for a few hours. So as this band of rain comes in, hopefully it's going to be just that, regular rain, and not any additional buildup of freezing rain. And then the precip is ending in the evening hours on Sunday, still at 39 degrees here on in the evening hours. But guess what happens after that? The rain is gone, but look how these temperatures fall. At midnight on Monday, we're going to be back to freezing. And then in the morning on Monday morning, we're going to be in the 20s for lows. So whatever is still wet or frozen on Sunday night is going to be slick again on Monday morning. And we're only going to get up to around 33 on Monday afternoon. So there's not going to be a lot of melting going on here on Monday. So just be prepared. This could be a long duration event, even though new precip is going to be coming in after Sunday night. But look at this cold air. Tuesday morning, 15. And then we're up to 38 in the afternoon. Not a lot of melting there. 23 Wednesday morning, then up to 41. Maybe a little more melting happening. Thursday morning, 22. Friday morning, 17, with highs in the 30s. It is going to be a cold week ahead. So for those who lose power for an extended period, I'm very concerned about the ability to stay warm for those days if you don't have power for an extended period. So this is going to be a tough one to ride through. Thank you for watching us here for this extended weather update on 11 Alive Plus and Weather Impact 24/7. We'll have another update for you coming up tonight at 11 o'clock with our newscast. And then beginning at 6 o'clock on Saturday morning, we're going to have extended weather updates at the top and bottom of the hours. Our newscast from 8:30 to 10:30, and then streaming throughout the rest of the day here on Saturday. Some of that coverage is going to be on 11 Alive as well. Streaming more through the day, morning hours on Sunday, and through the day on Sunday as well. So keep it with us here at 11 Alive and 11 Alive Plus for more updates on this winter storm and the ice storm warning here for our area.